Well, hey, I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Our Life, Our Journey.
Our Truth.
So excited to have you connected today and always, every single week on this platform. It means the world to us to have you, and you connected, and we appreciate it so much. People are telling us all around the world every single week that they're being blessed by this YouTube channel, and we appreciate it so much. So while you're there, make sure you like, comment,
subscribe, and share with your friends and family, and make sure that they subscribe and join this awesome community.
Let's go. Let's get it, y'all. We are growing this platform, and we appreciate you so much. And again, follow Dr. Steph at Dr. Steph Walker out there on social media. Follow me at Joseph Walker 3, and make sure you go to josephwalker3.org. Get our book. We have a book called Becoming a Couple of Destiny that we believe can be a blessing to you. And also the Destiny series merch stuff. It'll bless you. Just go out there, check it out. And we appreciate you so much. So today, babe.
What are we talking about?
Ooh, ready for this one? Do what you have to do.
Yes.
When you have to do it.
So you can do what you want to do when you want to do it.
How about delayed gratification?
Delayed gratification.
Oh
my gosh.
So many people right now want it right now, right? We always are like trying to get it now, and we end up broke, busted, and disgusted because we do not understand the work that's required
to put into
get
something.
a thing done before you actually can realize the fruit of it later on,
Yes.
Something we teach our kids.
From day one.
Day one. I want to do this. I want to go there. Have you done your homework? Have you cleaned your room? Because if you do,
even just last
what you
night,
have to do,
when you have to do it, you can do whatever you want after that. I mean, within reason, of course.
Yeah. What do you think is like some of the, maybe a hindrance of people from actually getting that thing done in terms of doing what they have to do? Like, you think it's the lull of society pressure? You think it's just the idea we haven't been to be trained about delayed gratification, this instant generation? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't even think it's just this this generation, yes. However, it's a thing that many generations have had to fight, right? Because at the end of the day, people want what they want when they want it, not having a long-term view or perspective.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting something. I think being able to put it in its proper place, though.
That's it.
And what ends up happening is when you want things now, you want to go to that party now, or you want to go travel now, or you want to, do whatever now without first doing those things that are most important to build the foundation. You can go, you can turn up, you can do whatever. But when you come back, that stuff still needs to be done.
Yeah.
But frequently, it doesn't get done. And so therein lies the problem. When you're able to connect something that you don't necessarily want to do with a reward in the end, that allows you to learn how to self-regulate so that you can be productive and be fruitful.
Self-regulation, though. Talk about that, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
That is a real thing.
Yeah.
that's even in that book.
It's like it's self-discipline, basically.
To self-regulate.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get the discipline of self-regulation?
Yeah.
Kind of the energy of intentionality, forcing your spirit and your mind to align around a specific task
or goal or something. Yeah. Like, I remember even just, let's say in high school, like, I played basketball, but my friends would go out and some of them played basketball and some didn't. But I knew that I had homework.
Yeah.
And so I would just tell myself, you can go and hang out or go to the mall or go to that party or do whatever if you get your homework done first. Because at the end of the day, Monday's coming.
Yeah.
Your assignments are going to be due. You can go and turn up and hang out and do whatever. But at the end of the day, do you want to F? Like, you have goals. So my long-term goal was to go to college, become pre-med, and become a doctor. And I knew how to connect the dots.
Yeah.
You don't do your homework, you don't get good grades. You don't get into a good college. You don't get into a good medical school. You don't become a doctor. Like, that was very clear to me. And so I knew that way down here in the line, I had to do what I needed to do in order to take those steps forward. But I would reward myself. If I went ahead and got my work done, I would be like, Mom, Dad, can I go out with so-and-so and go hang out? And the same thing for college. So by the time I got to college, I wasn't one of those kids going buck wild because I didn't know how to control myself. I knew you go to class, you do your work. I would get up on Saturday mornings, study pretty much all day. I went to Vanderbilt. And then at 9 o'clock at night, go back to my room, call everybody, hey, where are we meeting up? And I would go out all night. But I would always went out after I had all my work done.
So here's a hack I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
I preached about it. Maybe it'll bless you. Begin
with the end in mind. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
Begin with the end in mind because you know what you're after. So you're locked in. So I do this like, wow, man, I'm probably the poster child for this, right? In terms of my preparation.
Yeah.
Like what I do in terms of how I grind, how I focus, how I labor, how I shut myself in and truly get things done. I open that door and I'm like, okay, now it's time to go have fun. It's time to go accomplish these things I want to do. But I make certain that the main thing is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes what happens is the reason why we're not disciplined is because we are distracted. And you have to create an environment whereby you can be focused on the thing that you are to do. And I think that's important.
Shut down the phone,
Man,
get off the computer,
social
turn
media.
the TV off, get into a quiet space.
Get it done.
You know, for those of you guys who are at school, go to the library. No one's using books in the library anymore, but you could still go as a quiet space and refuge.
That's so true.
Go to the student lounge where the quiet one, not the one where everybody's turning up. You know what I mean? We know where those are on campus. Like, go to your local library down the street if you're trying to get something done and you're no longer in school anymore. Or, you know, shut yourself off in the office, but put all your electronics in another room or another space. Like, there's ways to go about doing this so that you can get whatever you need to get done and so that you can focus.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people end up, you know, living with these unmet expectations. And when you do that, you oftentimes end up blaming other people that I didn't get it done. I don't have enough time. God gives us all the same amount of time.
Number of hours of the day.
We all
That's
have
right.
that. We all have that. It's about time management, being a good steward of that time and being efficient. And I think that's a key element to really doing what you have to do is realize you have the time to do it.
Well, and then also being honest with yourself. Like if we all have the same amount of hours, but someone else is being more efficient or seemingly being more productive or producing, or they have more fruit, asking yourself, okay, let me just be real. You don't have to shout it from the highest rooftop. No one knows. No one else has to know. But you have to sit down and do some real like soul searching and put it on paper. What did I do with my time? Like how many hours did you like scroll Instagram? How many hours did you sit in front of the TV and just veg out? How many Netflix or Hulu or whatever did you watch today? You know, like how long did you stay on the phone or worse, texting people without actually truly communicating, right? Like how long did you do all those things? That's the same amount of time that you could have used to do what you needed to get done in order to propel yourself to the next level. And so just making sure that, like you said, that you're utilizing your time wisely, but that you're doing self-inventory to figure out why does it seem like you are not getting stuff done? What are those barriers or little foxes in your life that are preventing you from getting to the next level?
And I think, too, the importance of doing the thing that is aligned with your purpose and not just doing a thing to be doing a thing, right? Because I tell people often, if it's not in the purpose, why is it on your schedule? Why are you exerting so much energy towards something that does not yield anything around your destiny, where you're trying to go? And then you're frustrated because you're like, I've been working on this all day, doing this, but it wasn't aligned with where you're trying to go. And so now you're like, everything's backing up. And you don't have that free time to do what you want.
And I say something similar, but I think about it in a different way. So I tell people, take a blank sheet of paper, draw a circle. Write in that circle who you are in this season. You know, for me, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a doctor, I'm a this, I'm a mentor, I'm blah, 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 blah. Write all those things in that circle. And then write all those things outside of the circle that you're doing. Those are all the things that are pulling on you. And then after you've done that, take a pen or a pencil and take each one and draw only an arrow to the circle of those things that are feeding that person who you're trying to become. Because there's a lot of things that we're doing that aren't building that person that we're trying to become. We do it because someone asked us. We do because we felt like we had time. We do because we're good at it. Just because you're good at it or you have time to do it or because someone asked you to do it as a favor doesn't mean that that's something you should be spending your time on in this season if you've got goals, right? And so it helps it forces you to really do a deep dive, and it's a very easy tool to use to figure out what you should be prioritizing, what you should not be. And any of those things that are on that paper that are not feeding that person you're trying to become, put an X on it. Because at some point you need to figure out how to tell those people no and how to let those things go in this season, and how to move that from priority number 1, 2, and 3 or down to 20. So it's at the bottom of your list. You can get to it if you have time to get to it, you know?
How many people are feeding you? How many people just need you?
Right.
Ooh.
And sometimes we just say yes, either because we don't want to disappoint people, or, you know, we're afraid to say no for whatever reason. Things happened before in our past or what have you. We're trying to make friends with everybody.
Yeah.
In order for, if I'm going to be your friend, I'm going to be your friend whether you tell me you have time to do it or not.
Yeah. That's
like, that's not going to be a judgment.
I'm invested. I'm sold in.
Exactly.
I'm tied in. Yeah. That's so important, right? I think there's a way in which each of us, I think, is wired around either trying to appease other people, and that's a lot to be said about. That's a whole
nother episode.
Yeah. But
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I would just say this idea of short-term sacrifice for long-term gain.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's a delayed gratification, right? And so short-term sacrifice is doing what you have to do when you have to do it, so you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. So you work hard, you grind hard now so you can retire when you're 40.
Yeah.
You work hard, you grind hard now so you can retire when you're 35. You work hard, you grind hard now so you can own your own business by the time you're 26.
That's good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is why you're doing what you're doing, so that you can do what you want to do. And what you want to do doesn't always have to be a turnip. It can be whatever your goals are. It can be whatever you're trying to build.
House,
it can be buying your first home. Like, you sacrifice and you cut out, you know, eating out, going to Starbucks, and like, you know, going on 5 vacations this year. Okay, guess what? You know how much money you just saved? That's a down payment for a house.
That's so true. That's so true.
If you just sacrifice for 1 year, short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, your friends are going to be looking like, how did you do that? While they're, you know, doing all this stuff on Instagram and da-da-da-da. That fear of missing out goes back to our last episode, or one of the episodes we did recently about the joy of missing out. You can look back and say, yeah, I wasn't there, but look at me now.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, in this social media driven world, TikTok, all the different platforms, there is a sense that people want to celebrate like the reward, the success, but nobody really sees the grind. And that grind behind the time, behind the scenes, is what the real work is. The reason why a person is able to live what they want to live, or drive what they want to drive, or open up a business, or buy the, it's because they have put in that grind. You know, you made an interesting statement. I want to talk about it. Maybe a little blessed, right? So, you know, we're talking about my cadence and how people might, you know, my team says my cadence is like ta 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 ta. But she knows.
No, and someone said that his cadence was tot, rest, tot, rest, tot, rest. And I was like, no. Because they don't see behind the scenes that they think that you're resting after every beat.
Right.
You're not resting after every beat.
Right. Behind the scenes, I'm like, for real. But when I turn that thing over,
it looks
like, I can rest. But I've already done that work behind the scenes.
Because it looks like on the outside when you see him that he's only working when you see him.
Oh my God.
The thing is, he's also constantly working when you're not seeing him. And so when you don't see him, it doesn't mean that he's on vacation, that he's chilling out by the pool, that he's like sipping on hot chocolate somewhere. You know? Like, he's actually grinding, getting work done ahead of time so that we can go on vacation without being interrupted. So we can, you know, do these things with our kids, so that he and I can go do whatever we want to do, because we have this goal in mind. He's like, I know that I'm going on this trip with the family and I don't want to be disturbed. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything lined up for the next 4 months, so that if something were to happen, I'm not trying to play catch up at the last minute. I'm ready and I'm prepared. And no matter what happens, I'm good to go.
And that's the key word, right? Prepared. Showing up prepared. Showing up prepared means I want to show up as the best version of myself.
Yes.
When I walk into any room, because I've already done what I need to do. If you're doing it in real time, you're missing the point here. It is about the discipline, that causes you to avoid distractions, that puts you in a proper place where you say, I'm preparing, doing the things I have to do no matter what. I think that's really, where a lot of us can benefit.
Yeah.
I know it's been something we've just organically done and continue to do. And a lot of folks don't know that. They don't know the work that goes behind us doing this. So
well, and he says organically because we've been doing it for years before we even met. Right? And so it's just become a part, it's a habit. This is habitual for us in terms of who we are and what we're about. Now it's part of our character, part of who we are, part of our everyday. And that's something that we're passing on to our kids. Like my daughter, she came home the other day and she's got finals in 2 weeks, not even next week, in 2 weeks. But she also knows that she's got a ballet recital coming up and she's got all these other things happening. And so at the end of the day, guess what? Like she knows she needs to study ahead of time so that she doesn't get caught up in the end stressing because all these other things are preventing her from being able to study. I believe
and
she's 13.
13, I think it's a mindset.
Yeah.
I think it's when you truly start looking at life from the perspective that I begin with the end in mind. I look at what I want to accomplish. I look at where I want to go, the vacation I want to go on, the house I want to buy, what I want to see happen to my family. And I'm willing to say, you know what? I'm going to put this time in by any means necessary. I'm going to insulate myself, get these things done so that when when I go and spend time on vacation with my family, and she can testify to this, I'm fully present.
And you're not stressed out, looking at your phone, trying to figure out what you're missing. Oh, wait, I missed that assignment. I got to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning so I can turn that in to my boss because I forgot to do that before I left.
It's got to be fully on deck. I think that's what it's all about. So I don't care what it is you're after. I don't care what it is you're trying to pursue. If it's the will of God for your life, congratulations, go for it all. But I tell you this, do what you have to do first. Put that work in on the front end so you can truly enjoy.
You won't regret it.
Oh my God.
You will not regret it.
Enjoy.
You'll be able to look back and just be like, wow, I'm glad I did that.
I'm glad I did that.
Wow, look at the freedom that this has created in my life.
How many times have we done that, right? So guys, I hope this has blessed you. I mean, for us, it's just a little bit to share with you around this whole idea of doing what we have to do so we can do what we want to do. And our kids live by, we live by, and I hope it blesses you. Let us know in the comment section, maybe some of the things you do, how you discipline yourself, or maybe some of the distractions, some of the things you need us to help you with. In that community right now, you can join us, and we hope you'll do that in the comments. We read them. And then, of course, make sure you follow Dr. Steph. Do it now. Do what you have to do right now so you can do what you want to do later. Follow me at Joseph Walker 3. We are so grateful and thankful, babe. This has been a good one.
Yeah,
we live by this one, right?
This topic,
Even when you want some, hey, baby, I really want that. I'd be like, let's just delay that for gratification, and let's get that gratification later, and let's do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do, right? Even if you look at me with those Google eyes. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Peace out.